Hello, and welcome back to another Unity C# tutorial. This is the second video in the series of 3 where I'm going to teach you how to make a shotgun. Yeah. So this video is going to be centered around optimizing the current script we have and adding an enemy that we can deal damage to. The enemy won't be like attacking us or anything, we'll just show you how to actually deal damage to an enemy, of course. And we're also going to be implementing a raycast system. So let's get started. Let's open up our scripts. Oh yeah, last episode I left off by adding the use gravity to this pellet. We don't want that because that's kind of just weird. So let's go to scripts now. That's done, and open up our shotgun script. So first thing is we're going to get rid of these 3 lines because we can simply say a new quaternion and then pellet count. Alright, so that's clearly much faster than looping through multiple times. So now we are going to want to implement a way of deleting the pellet after, like, for example, 1 second. So we're going to say p is equal to that, and then we're going to set p up. So game object p equals a new game object. Cool. Oh, problem solved. So now we're gonna say p equals game object instantiate as game object. I'm pretty sure passing that many game objects and like that is a little bit redundant, but whatever. And then destroy, and then p after let's do 1 second just to see that this actually works, and then we'll pump that up in a second or two. Yeah, cool. So now we're going to create a private float called lifetime, and we're going to set this to like 30 seconds. Cool. So we're going to destroy it after lifetime. Nice. So I'm pretty sure that's all the optimization we need to do. Let's just test it out, see if there's any bugs. Cool. So now let's start the enemy. 3D. We're going to create a cylinder. We're going to call him enemy. We're going to reset his transform and move him in front of where we were looking when we start. Let's give him a good color like red, I guess. Yeah, let's add a component called, let's see here, enemy. Like that. It's going to be C#. It's good. Create an add. Let's add this script to scripts. Let's open this up. That. Oh yeah, my window is open because it's insanely hot out, and yeah, I don't want to die. So I'm sorry if you hear any outside noises. So inside of this script, we are going to say, yeah, this is the enemy. I'm sorry about that. We're gonna have a public float called HP, and then in here we're gonna say if HP is less than or equal to 0, then we are going to destroy the game object that this is attached to, for instance, the enemy, and then we're going to also print I am dead plus game object dot name. I'm going to want a space here so it looks right. Cool, so that's all done. Now we are going to want to attach a script to pellet called pellet C#. Good. Okay, let's throw this into our scripts folder and open it up. Pellet. There we go. Reload. Alright, Visual Studio is weird sometimes. Alright, so we can get rid of all of this, and we can create a public float called damage. And then we're going to also have a void on collision, my gosh, on collision, enter. I don't think I spelled that right. Collision, enter, and then we're going to pass in a collision called collision. Sorry about that, I forgot I have a Visual Studio tool that completes Unity things. So collision, and then we are going to say collision dot, nope, we're going to say enemy n equals collision dot collider dot GameObject dot get component, and then enemy. There we go. And then if enemy doesn't equal null, we are going to want to damage the enemy's health, or damage the enemy. So damage.hp minus equal, let's pass in damage. Cool. So let's now drag our enemy script onto our enemy and make sure that our pellet actually has a pellet script. Yep. Let's give this pellet damage like 0.5, and the enemy, oops, 100. Cool. So now we should be dealing damage. Yeah, cool. Let's increase the damage of the pellet by maybe like 10 to make sure he's actually dying. Yep. Cool. Don't know why I did that test, I'm sorry. Of course it's working. So now we are going to close both of these scripts. Sure, save that, I don't care. And we're going to implement the raycast. So what we are going to want to do is we're going to want to create a public bool called use raycast. So if not use raycast, we are going to want to execute our rigid body script. And else, we are going to want to, of course, execute the part of our code that fires the raycast. So we can basically just copy our rigid body because it's extremely similar, and we can make this a new variable just in case, and then we can get rid of both of these. We can get rid of this, pellets of Y, of course, and we can get rid of this. Oh, and this, of course. So we are going to make a quaternion called rotation, or rot, and we're going to set this to quaternion dot rotate towards, and we're going to rotate from our barrel exit dot transform dot rotation. Oops, rotation. And then we're going to rotate to this pellets of Y, and then we're going to use angle spread, or spread angle. Cool, as the max spread. Now we are going to want to set up the raycast. So we are going to have a raycast hit, we're going to call it hit, and then we're going to say if physics.raycast, and then we're going to fire from the barrel exit.transform.position. We're going to fire in the direction of rotation times vector3 dot forward. Yep. And then we're going to fire at I believe mathf dot infinity, I think, and then we're going to use out called hit, and then we're going to set up a layer mask to hit, and of course we don't have the setup yet, so let's copy this, let's go up here, And let's add a layer mask called layer mask to hit. Why is this like this? Okay, so apparently I put it too far forward, I think. Oops, that. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So that's all of that. Now we are actually going to deal damage to our player. So we are going to say enemy n is equal to, and then hit dot collider dot game object dot get component, and then the enemy, and then if enemy doesn't equal null, come on, we are going to want to actually deal damage to him. So n dot hp minus equal damage, and again, of course, we don't have this set up yet. Oh, apparently I do. I'm sorry about that. So public float damage, we're gonna write that. And then we should be done with our raycast. So let's test that. So shotgun. Okay, so the damage is set to 1. That's a good number. And then use raycast. That is true. Why are we not seeing this? Okay, because it's not public, of course. So public layer mask. Okay, now we should see it. Yep, we're going to want to set it to default like it is already. And then we are, of course, going to want to use raycast. So now it should work. Yes. Cool. Let's test to see if it's not just that firing straightforward by kind of not aiming directly at it. I'd hope that. Yes, we've hit it a couple of times, but we're only doing 1 damage, so it's not a lot. I believe that's about it, actually. So I hope I helped you guys out a lot and taught you guys something. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day.
Show some spine, milksop! I'll clean your clock. Hey, it's certain death.
Gotta find the controls to take this thing to Monument Island.